the south side of the city of Edinburgh lies the housing area known as Burdiehouse, and through this area a small stream flows, known locally as the Burdiehouse Burn. Its source lies in the neighbouring Pentland Hills. From there it flows down to meet the southern suburbs of the city, where it encounters a cluster of modern housing developments which have grown up from the 1940s to the present day. Its route from Burdiehouse to the neighbouring area of Gilmerton is known as the Burdiehouse Burn Valley. Given the build-up of housing estates throughout the district, this open area of grassland must have attracted interest from developers keen to exploit its attractions for building more houses. But that wasn't allowed to happen. Not because of problems due to the valley being a watercourse, but because local people wanted this to become a public park.
Yeah, I haven't found anything that said, there's water problems or anything like that. It was just in the 60s, as I said, that was when it first became a public park, and that's when the boundaries seem to have been set. So, from then on, thou shalt not build in that area.
So this small valley became and remains known as the Burdiehouse Burn Valley Park. At its northern end, there are two approaches. This is Ellen's Glen Lone, a quiet road leading down to a little hamlet where you will find a small car park. And at the back of this unassuming little car park are the first indications that you are entering the Burdiehouse Burn Valley Park. From here you find yourself following a narrow path by the burn, which gradually opens out into an area of meadow and woodland. The vegetation is abundant in summer, so that wildflowers and bushes flourish alongside rampant nettles and other weeds. The burn has a strong flow, so that it's not surprising to learn that this little stream once supported 3 water mills along the course of the valley. This particular path then crosses an open area where another access route comes in from the neighbouring houses before it crosses the burn at this small wooden bridge. A second approach is just off Gilmerton Road, where these impressive gates announce that you are entering the Morden Wood, another branch of the park. Here you enter an attractive area of woodland with a high canopy of trees providing shade through which the sunlight filters. The path wanders beside the burn and crosses it at more small wooden bridges before angling up and away from it to emerge into the nearby houses. At this point, you may be forgiven for thinking that the park has come to an end, but a short crossing returns you to another access path leading through more woodland and grassy glades before opening out into an area where it joins the Ellen's Glen path at its now familiar wooden bridge. Walk a little further and you encounter this sculptured seat in the shape of an oak leaf with acorns. Finding a feature like this assures you that people care enough about the park to have raised the funding required to provide artwork of this calibre. And its design indicates that thought went into making it robust as well as useful and attractive, an important consideration in an open area such as this. Ahead is a road, where again you may think the park is about to come to an end. But the path takes you under a bridge and through to yet another open area and a second sculptured seat in a similar leaf format. It provides a welcome rest on a warm summer's day and a good point to take a break from walking the dog. Not far beyond this, you're brought out of the enchantment of this nature reserve and back to suburban reality in the form of Lasswade Road, a main highway connecting Edinburgh with towns and villages to its south. Here again, you may think the park has come to an end. But cross the busy road and you'll find a gate, another entrance through which the park continues. The valley now changes to a broad, flat area, and advantage has been taken of this to build a children's play park. From here, the path swings round to the left, past the area known as South Houses, with the burn still close by. It then makes its way past some remnants of an earlier industrial past, both modern and ancient. These ruins are what remains of a once thriving industry that produced lime for making the mortar needed by stonemasons building houses in Edinburgh and its surrounding districts. And there is an interesting story about that industry.
Actually, I mean, that's very interesting, because what happened there when the new town of Edinburgh was being built, the people who were doing the mining for the lime, some of them actually went into town, and they'd go to the likes of Marchmont when it was being built and take orders for the lime. And with them they had carrier pigeons, and they put the orders into the carrier pigeons, sent them back, and they were delivered the same day. Now, isn't that good? Fabulous! And really, Burdiehouse should have a pigeon as its emblem. I really do think so.
The burn turns away from the old lime kiln ruins before finally skirting the edge of the Burdiehouse housing estate to emerge onto this busy dual carriageway, where the park does truly come to an end. The park is known to and used by local residents and is a favourite location for walking groups, but its existence often comes as a surprise to those new to the area.
But I have to say I was here a long time before I found my way down there. As soon as it turned down Ellen's Glen Lone, it's like stepping into a different world.
It is.
And it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And you know, if you go from that through the park, either turning right, left, or going straight on, it's just fantastic.
The park provides shelter and a protective habitat for wildlife.
Well, there are an amazing amount of wildlife there. I mean, the Jessica from the Ranger Service obviously is much more qualified than me to talk about that, but you've got obvious things like rabbits, squirrels, foxes, regular sea foxes, heron. There is certainly one heron, if not two, regular visitors to the park. There are fish in the burn, surprisingly. You know. I've seen birds of prey in the modern wood, and all sorts of bird life. It's quite diverse, but you've got to be open your eyes to kind of see that. But I find taking the dog, if you're in early morning, you know, we've regularly been confronted with a fox, and you turn a corner, and there's the young fox 10 yards away from you. And it's good. I mean, it's great to see that sort of thing.
Take a walk through the park in spring or early summer, and you will encounter an impressive display of fresh greenery and colour. The park is owned by Edinburgh District Council, who maintain it by regularly cutting the grass and strengthening the riverbank where it has been damaged by flood erosion. But the council cannot deal with all of the day-to-day care that the park needs, and so some of the local residents have formed themselves into a group called the Friends of Burdiehouse Burn Valley Park.
Well, we kind of saw, the council cutbacks have been around for a long time, and I think they're really starting to bite now. And we felt that unless we did something as a local group of people, then the park was going to degenerate. Because the council simply don't have the resources to do a lot of the things, such as clean-ups that we do.
Under the guidance of staff from the council's Park Ranger Service, the Friends help to keep the trees and vegetation under control. This kind of voluntary partnership enables the park to be kept in better condition than would be possible if all the work relied on the council's overstretched resources. The Friends also do occasional maintenance work, such as dealing with rusting paintwork. During the spring and summer months, the Friends do a regular monthly clean-up operation, removing debris from the park and keeping the burn clear of obstructions. Although the majority of local people value the park and treat it with respect, some do not. Litter and vandalism are common problems. Unwanted items of all descriptions are often dumped in the burn, including the occasional discarded supermarket trolley.
Well, we have a regular monthly clean-up, so that would involve removing debris from the burn, shopping trolleys, you name it. It appears in the burn over the year. General litter clean-up. So it's the kind of stuff that the council and the Parks Department and the Ranger Service don't really have the time or the resource to do. So we're kind of supplementing what these organisations bring to the park and trying to kind of raise the kind of standard of the park and keep it in pristine condition.
The park is naturally a favourite place for people walking their dogs, but the downside of this is that dog fouling can be a serious nuisance. It would be helpful if all dog owners picked up after their pets, but many don't. It is thanks to the work of the Friends that this gem of a local park is kept in such excellent condition that it has been recognised by being given green flag status.
So we pushed really hard for that, and only soon after the Friends group was formed, actually, we got green flag status for the park, which is an independent assessment of the park in terms of wildlife habitat, green space for local residents, the general state of repair and the upkeep. And recently we've had that renewed, because you get assessed every year. So I think I know it's a major achievement really for an area that is kind of deprived in many ways.
The Friends also try to raise funds to support the maintenance and development of the park.
And it will surprise people to learn that there's close to about £1 million being invested in the park over the last 10 years or so, principally from the lottery fund, but various other bodies have donated and given grant aid to the park. So it's keen that we kind of keep that going.
Burdiehouse Burn Valley Park is truly a local treasure. The fact that it exists is due to local people back in the 1960s insisting that they wanted to safeguard this open and natural space for their community. It is to Edinburgh's credit that the District Council has designated the park as a local nature reserve and refused to allow developers to build over it. And it's thanks to the partnership between the Council and the Friends of the Park that it is maintained in such excellent condition and protected from deterioration due to the many pressures that are put upon it.
I think the fact that the Friends of Burdiehouse exist means it's going to be maintained. So perhaps it won't change that much more in the future, but it's not going to decline. And that's very significant.
The park has come a massive, I mean, it's made massive improvements. I mean, I was only here 4 years ago, but people tell me that 10 years ago it was like a shanty town walking through the park, and now it's somewhere you can be proud of.
It is.
And our challenge is to kind of help maintain that and take it forward in the future, working with all these other groups.